All right, taking a look at some of the individual movers, it certainly was a big day for banks. JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo kicking off earnings season with a beat in earnings here for the second quarter. However, there were some things to be a little bit concerned about within these reports, and digging into it, Citigroup saw profits fall amid slower corporate spending. Yahoo Finance's Blikre here to weigh in. And as you can see, JP Morgan, one of the only big banks here, holding on to gains today.
The fortress balance sheet, what can you say about that? That hasn't been said before. They tend to win, and the First Republic acquisition looks like it's working in their favor. You can see they're one of the few, if not the only one, up today, up 64 basis points. Wells Fargo, now they started out the day in the green. They were up 2 or 3 percentage points, have sunk into the red. Over the last few years, the really big year for banks was 2021, and they've just been kind of flagging ever since. Here's Citigroup intraday down 4%. But I just want to show you a chart, Seana, to argue against zombie banks. Because guess what? This was before the global financial crisis, the great financial crisis, and this is after. Basically 12 years of doing nothing there. So that is the downside.
Certainly the downside. All right, Jay, let's also talk about some of the chip makers. Truist was out with the note raising their price targets for Nvidia and Broadcom. Now, the company is citing that the two chip makers having, quote, meaningful upsides right now amid AI demand. Certainly, obviously,
meaningful.
Nvidia by far what are we looking at losses today?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're looking at some losses today, but that chart is from the lower left to the upper right here. So if they're still seeing meaningful upside here, hey, I want to be part of that. Let's not forget, a lot of this huge rally that we've seen here in this market concentration has been on the backs of some of this AI, not on some of it, a lot of it on the AI hype. So that does need to continue. But up 200% for the year, that is just incredible. Take a look at Broadcom here, who they're also commenting about, up about 60% year to date. The stock is just flagging in the upper end of its range. Well, that's a very bullish chart right there. We'll have to see what happens. But this consolidation that we're seeing here, that's healthy.
All right, Jared, well, another name that's on the move today, UnitedHealth Group, rallying in today's trading session after beating second quarter expectations. The company also raising the low end of its profit outlook for 2023. Obviously, that's adding to some of the boost that we did see today, and it's helping some of its competitors as well.
Yeah, we can see kind of a mixed board here. I would say overall, healthcare has not been one of the best performers this year. It has not been about defense. They did tend to do well last year, especially in the back half. And you just take a look at the year-to-date performance, you're going to see kind of a bifurcation. You're going to see some winners here, but for the most part, a lot of them are losers. We know healthcare is a very difficult business to be in. One of the items that caught my mind with respect to United was a bunch of the states are getting together and finally clamping down on Medicaid and kicking out people who committed fraud or were not eligible over the pandemic. Does not seem to be having an appreciable effect just so far, but I think that's an interesting data point that could be important going forward.
All right, Jared Blikre, thanks so much for breaking that down.